This story is fictional, but every problem in it is based on real risks truck drivers face on the road. At 5:42 in the morning, Evan Miller was sitting on top of 43,000 pounds of frozen freight, pointed straight toward his first real mountain descent. Not a training hill. Not some gentle downgrade outside town. A Real One. The kind of hill old drivers talk about with their coffee cup halfway to their mouth. Wolf Creek Pass! If you've been around trucks long enough, you know that name means one thing. Gear down early, respect the weight, and don't ever let the mountain pick your speed for you. Evan had heard all that before. His trainer had drilled it into him for weeks. Don't ride the brakes. Use your Jake. Pick your gear before you start down. And if you need the runaway ramp, take it. Pride won't stop a truck. But hearing that in training and feeling a loaded trailer push you downhill are two very different things. Evan was 24 years old. He had 7 months behind the wheel. Long enough to feel like he knew something. Not long enough to know how much he didn't know. Most of his runs had been easy mileage. Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, flat roads, long lanes, truck stop coffee, and a lot of white lines. This was different. Mountains have a way of finding out what kind of driver you really are. Behind him was a reefer trailer loaded with frozen food. The unit was holding temperature. The seal was good. The paperwork was clean. On paper, everything looked fine. But out of here, paper doesn't pull the grade. Weight does. The load was heavy, and he could feel it every time the road tilted. The tractor worked harder. The trailer leaned into him. The whole rig felt like it had a mind of its own. And Evan had one more problem. He was late. A wreck outside Denver had shut everything down that morning and cost him nearly 2 hours. Dispatch had already called twice. The receiver in Albuquerque had a tight appointment window, and everybody in trucking knows what that means. Miss the window, and suddenly your whole day belongs to somebody else. You sit, you wait, you get worked in when they feel like it. Maybe you get detention, maybe you don't. Either way, the clock keeps burning. Evan looked at the GPS. Arrival, 10:47. Appointment, 10:30. 17 minutes. That number sat in his head like a bad song. He wasn't flying. He wasn't being crazy. At least, that's what he told himself. He was just trying to make up a little time. That's how it starts for a lot of new drivers. Just 5 miles an hour more. Just a quicker stop. Just one less walk around. Just a little. But in a loaded rig, just a little can turn into too much before you even realize it. The sky over the Rockies was still mostly black, with a thin line of orange starting to show behind the peaks. The headlights reached ahead, bouncing off signs, guardrails, and patches of dirty snow along the shoulder. Inside the cab, everything had that early morning quiet. The hum of the reefer, the low rumble of the engine, and the occasional pop of tires rolling over cracked pavement. Evan checked the dash. Air pressure looked good. Engine temperature looked good. Fuel was fine, no warning lights, but the gauges don't tell you everything. They don't tell you how ready you are. They don't tell you if you picked the right gear. They don't tell you if you're about to learn something the hard way. A few miles before the summit, dispatch called again through the Bluetooth. Evan hit the button. Yeah? Morning, Evan. Where you at? Coming up on the pass. You still looking good for 10:30? Evan looked at the GPS again. Still 10:47? Gonna be close. The dispatcher paused. Receiver says they're stacked today. They might not hold the dock. I know. Just keep moving safely. There it was. Safely. Everybody says safely. Dispatch says it. Safety sees it. Management says it. Trainers say it. And most of them mean it. But the appointment time is still there. The service failure is still there. The load is still there. The rookie reputation is still there. Evan ended the call and stared at the road. Achi the summit. The view opened up. For a few seconds, it was beautiful. Snow on the shoulders, pines running down the mountain, a strip of highway dropping away into the valley. Morning light spilling over the peaks. Then he saw the sign. Truckers! Steep grade next! 8 miles! Use low gear! Below that, another sign. Runaway truck, ramp ahead. Evan swallowed. This was the hill. He remembered his trainer, Ray. Ray was 58, had gray in his beard, and had spent 30 years dragging freight through the Rockies. He didn't talk a lot, but when he did, Evan had learned to listen. Ray used to say, "You don't go down a mountain in the gear you wish you had. You go down in the gear that keeps you alive." Evan heard that voice now. He reached for the engine brake and clicked it on. The Jake brake came alive with that deep, rough bark every driver knows. Then he downshifted. Not as low as Ray probably would have wanted, just a lower. The truck started down. At first, it felt fine. The Jake held him back. The trailer stayed straight. The road curved left, then right, and Evan kept it clean. Speed, 42, then 44, then 46. He topped the service brake. Not hard, just enough to bring it back down. The truck listened. Good. He breathed out. Maybe he had been overthinking it. Maybe all those old heads just liked scaring rookies. Then the grade got steeper, and the trailer started talking. Not with words, with pressure. That heavy, steady shove from behind, that reminds you the truck is not just going downhill. The load is pushing it downhill. Speed. 48, then 50 touched the brakes again. A little longer this time. The speed dropped back. Then, the second he let off, it started climbing again. The road bent right. A yellow sign showed a recommended 35 miles per hour. Evan was doing 47. He pressed the brakes harder. The rig slowed, but something came into the cab. A smell. Faint. Sharp. Hot. Every truck driver knows that smell, even if they've never smelled it before. Hot brakes! Evan checked the mirrors. No smoke yet, but the smell was there. And once you smell brakes on a mountain, you're already in the conversation late. His trainer's voice came back again. Never let the truck get away from you at the top. If it gets away from you halfway down, now you're just negotiating with gravity. Evan wiped his palm on his jeans. Okay, he muttered. Okay, easy. He tried to keep it calm. That's what you do in a cab. You talk to yourself like that. Makes the truck lighter. The road straightened for a moment. A pickup appeared ahead, moving slower than him. Evan backed off. The pickup hit its brakes for the next curve. Evan had to brake. Longer. The smell got stronger. He didn't want to ride the brakes, but every curve seemed to ask for a little more pedal. That's how brake fade sneaks up on you. Not all at once. Not like a movie. It comes one decision at a time. A little brake here, a little brake there. A few extra miles per hour you should have handled earlier. Then the heat builds. The drums expand. The pedal starts feeling different. And suddenly the truck doesn't care what you planned. Evan looked down. Speed, 49. He clicked the Jake to full. The engine growled harder. He tried to downshift again. For one ugly second, the transmission hesitated. The truck felt loose. Not out of control, but not as tight as it should have been. Then the gear caught. The engine screamed. The whole rig shuddered. Evan gripped the wheel and kept it straight. "Come on!" he whispered. "Stay with me." A runaway truck ramp appeared on the right. Gravel, steep, ugly, a big strip of no turning back. Evan looked at it. Then he looked back at the road. The ramp passed, and the second it was gone, he regretted it. That regret hit harder than the smell. Should he have taken it? Was that the smart move, or would that have been overreacting? Would dispatch chew him out? Would the shop complain? Would the old drivers laugh? Would Ray hear about it? That's the thing about pride. It doesn't sound like pride when it's happening. It sounds like reasons. The load is still under control. The brakes aren't gone. You can make the next one. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't be that rookie. But gravity dosing. Te care of you, reembodied. The grade kept dropping. Speed, 41. Then 44. Then 47 that Jake was working. The lower gear was helping, but he had waited too long to get fully ahead of it. Then the next sign came up. Sharp curve. 25 mph. Runaway truck ramp, 1 mile. Evan's mouth went dry. He checked the mirrors. This time, he saw it. A thin gray line coming from the trailer wheels. Smoke. Not rolling clouds. Not disaster yet, but enough to tell the truth. Enough to say, driver, you are running out of room. The curve ahead wrapped left along the mountain. On the outside was a guardrail, and past that, nothing but air and trees. Evan said the words out loud. I'm in trouble. And those words saved him, because the moment he admitted it, he stopped arguing with himself. He grabbed the CBMC southbound drivers on the pass. This is Miller Freight 218. I'm loaded heavy. Brakes are heating up. Got a ramp in 1 mile. I may be taking it. Static cracked back. Then a voice answered. Older.com. Take it, driver. Evan stared ahead. The voice came again. Don't think about it. Don't save the load. Don't save the schedule. Take the ramp. That was all he needed. Not permission from dispatch. Not a lecture from safety. Just one old hand on the radio telling him what he already knew. The ramp appeared around the bend on the right, climbing into the mountain like a gravel wall. Evan hit the 4-ways, checked the mirror. Clear. Speed. 43. Too fast. Too few. Good. Slow enough to choose. He lined up with the ramp. For half a second, everything in his body told him not to turn. The main road kept going. The painted lines were familiar. The ramp looked violent, expensive, and final. But Evan turned. The steer tires hit the gravel first. The cab exploded with vibration. The wheel fought his hands. The trailer slammed behind him. Loose gear bounced across the floor. His coffee cup flew out of the holder. The seatbelt locked hard across his chest. The truck climbed. The gravel grabbed. Speed dropped. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Then the rig stopped. For a few seconds, Evan didn't move. The engine idled. The hazards clicked. The reefer hummed behind him. Smoke drifted from the wheels. His hands were still wrapped around the steering wheel so tight his knuckles hurt, but the truck was upright. The trailer was still behind him. No cars were hit. No guardrail was broken. No family got a phone call. He leaned back and let out a breath that felt like it had been stuck in his chest since Denver. The CB crackled again. Good call, driver. Evan closed his eyes. Good call. Not failure. Good call. Highway patrol showed up first, then the tow crew. Then a maintenance truck. The officer asked if he was hurt. Evan shook his head. The tow driver looked under the trailer, checked around the wheels, and gave a low whistle. You got him hot, he said. Evan nodded. Yeah. The tow driver looked at him. But you got it stopped. That mattered. The brakes were overheated and worn, but not destroyed. The ramp had done exactly what it was built to do. The truck could be recovered. The load could be dealt with. The paperwork could be handled. Everything that was expensive was still better than everything that could have been permanent. Dispatch called about 20 minutes later. Evan expected anger. Instead, the safety manager was on the line. You okay? Yeah, Evan said. I took the ramp. I heard. I thought I had it. There was a pause. Then the safety manager said, You did have it. You made the decision before the truck made it for you. That stuck with him. The load was late. The receiver wasn't happy. The company had to pay for recovery. There would be reports, inspections, and a long conversation about mountain driving. But nobody died. That's the part people outside trucking don't always understand. A good day in this business isn't always the day everything goes perfect. Sometimes a good day is the day you stop the mistake before it becomes a headline. 2 days later, Evan walked into the terminal, expecting jokes. The rookie who took the ramp. The kid who couldn't handle the hill. The driver who buried a truck in gravel before breakfast. But Ray was there by the coffee machine. Same boot, same old cap, same tired eyes that had seen more highway than most people ever will. He looked at Evan and nodded. Heard you use the ramp. Evan looked down. Yeah. Ray took a sip of coffee. Good. That was all he said at first. No speech, no shame, no jokes, just good. Then Ray added, a bad driver keeps going because he's embarrassed. A professional stops while he still has a choice. That was when Evan understood something no classroom had fully taught him. Being a truck driver isn't about acting fearless. It isn't about forcing 80,000 pounds down a mountain because your appointment time says so. It isn't about making dispatch happy, protecting your pride, or proving you belong. It's about judgment. And judgment isn't loud. Judgment doesn't always look cool. Sometimes judgment looks like slowing down early. Sometimes it looks like pulling over. Sometimes it looks like calling another driver. And sometimes it looks like turning into a runaway ramp while your ego screams not to. After that morning, Evan changed. He started planning descents before he reached the top. He checked grades. He watched the weather. He looked for escape ramps before he needed them. He geared down earlier. He stopped worrying about looking slow. Most of all, he stopped treating the clock like it had more power than physics. Because physics does not care about your appointment. A loaded trailer has momentum. Brakes make heat. Heat steals stopping power. Gravity never gets tired. And on a mountain, the hill is always stronger than your pride. That's why old drivers say the descent starts before the downgrade. You don't wait until the truck is running away to become a professional. You become one before it happens. You choose the gear early. You control the speed early. You use the jake early. You save the service brakes for when you truly need them. And if the ramp is there and the truck is telling you the truth, you take it. There is a reason those mountain signs exist. Use low gear. Check brakes. Steep grade. Runaway truck ramp. Those signs aren't decorations. They're warnings written in other drivers' mistakes. Evan didn't become a veteran that morning. He didn't become some highway legend. He became something more useful. He became a little less dangerous. And in trucking, that matters. Because every good driver was a rookie once. Every old hand has a story. Every professional has a moment when the road taught them something they never forgot. For Evan, it was a cold morning in Colorado, a smoking set of brakes, and a gravel ramp he almost didn't take. So the next time you see a semi crawling down a mountain with its flashers on, don't get mad because it's slow. Maybe that driver knows exactly what they're doing. Maybe they understand that a safe descent starts at the top. Maybe they know that a heavy load always gets a vote. And maybe they've learned the lesson every real trucker has to learn sooner or later. The strongest driver on the mountain is not the one who refuses to stop. It's the one who knows when to gear down, swallow his pride, and keep the shiny side up.